Sing along if you feel my flow. Come on, sing this song. He has a plan in Jesus' name. He has his hand on our brand. And growing together. We can make it through any weather. So come on, don't be scared. Hands in the air if you feel my flow. Sing along with this song. Sing along if you feel my flow. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Sing along if you feel my flow. Come on, sing this song. Live streaming together. Live streaming together. Yeah, that's what I need you to do even right now. Sing along if you feel my flow. Come on, sing this song. Yeah, live streaming together. Man, I am so excited to be hanging out with you all on today. Anybody excited to be in the space, in the place tonight? If you really are, take your finger, let it do the typing and holler at your boy. Let me know how you're feeling on today, man. We're so excited to be in this space with you all on tonight. Just so wonderful. It is Wednesday, hump day. So we're getting over the hump together. Yeah, I said we're getting over the hump together. So I see you, Ray. We're getting over the hump together. Jessica, we're getting over the hump together. Denise, Judy, Shakira, and everyone else who is making their way into the space. Yeah, we are getting over the hump together. So why don't y'all do me a favor? Go ahead and, tag, text, and tell somebody. You can even hit them stars button if you don't mind. Yeah, we might as well go strong in the month of January because I'm a firm believer the way you start is the way you finish. Does anybody really believe that tonight? So let's go hard in the paint, if you will. It's a basketball phrase, kind of cliche, but whatever. Let's go hard in the paint tonight. So, hey, holler at everybody you know tonight. Tell them to come on into the space. We got a wonderful word that we're going to talk about today. Reset, what that means, and all of those particular things. So let's do that. Let's have a good time tonight. Anybody ready to have a good time tonight? If you really are, holler at your boy. Yeah. Let me know how you're feeling on this hump day. Let's check in. Let me know how you're feeling and make sure that you're talking to one another. We really need you to do that, to be checking in with one another because it's all about being relational, not just simply transactional. So, hey, I appreciate each and every one of you all tonight for coming into this space because in this space, the Ways Word of the Day space, what do? We lift up. We don't tear down. We encourage. We speak to those things that speak to us, all of those things. Thank you, Shakira, for letting us know that you're feeling good. That's a wonderful thing. Daphne Franks, what's going on tonight? Good to see you tonight. Hey, if you got any questions, comments that you want to add to the discussion, make sure that you drop them down in the comments section because I don't just want to be the only one talking. I want to hear from you as well. So I'm like Shakira tonight. I'm feeling good. I hope that you are feeling good as well. Aisha Frank. Aisha. Yeah, thank you for coming into the space tonight. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate you. Make sure that you're tagging and texting and telling somebody tonight. Tell them to come on into the space tonight. Because in this space, we tell our haters to put it where? Way back there. Yeah, put it way back there. Tell them to keep on moving, keep on walking. We ain't starting them. We ain't trying to listen to them. They can't block our purpose, nor can they block our path. And certainly we tell our fear, we ain't tripping. We operating in faith. Anybody operating in faith tonight? Yeah, we're operating in faith. We're walking by faith and not by sight. That kind of felt good to me, so I'm going to send some stars tonight. Let's have a stars party. I got 1 minute and 55 seconds left for us to have a stars party, so I need you to just tap on that stars button. Tonight, Jessica Simmons, thank you so much for those 200 stars. I think you sent those to, was that Jessica Simmons? Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Come on. I done sent my 200 stars. Anybody else going to send their 200 stars tonight? Is really simple. Daphne Franks, thank you for 100 stars. We appreciate you tonight. We're almost close. We got 1 minute and 27 seconds to get that stars party going on. Who gonna join in with the stars party tonight? I'm looking at my feed and I'm kind of blurry. I don't like that. Jessica Simmons just dropped another. What? Okay, 400 stars, Jessica. I ain't mad at you. Do your thing, girl. Do your thing. I ain't mad at you. Ray Hunter just dropped 50 stars. Thank you so much, my brother. We got a minute left to get this stars party going on. I just need FOMO. I'll make 5. Yeah. So go ahead and, hit that stars button real quick if you don't mind. Brother Ray, all right. Jessica sent 400 stars. Okay, that's all good. Who gonna join her tonight? Jessica saying ain't nobody gonna top me tonight. Yeah, I'm going hard in the paint. Who else is going hard in the paint with her tonight as well? Yeah, wonderful. Marvelous. Nina Holmes, what's going on? Thank you for coming into the space tonight. So we got a wonderful word. That word is reset. Our producer has been giving us some dope words, at the beginning of this year. Come on, let's clap it up for her. Big ups to the producer of Ways Word of the Day, Miss Shakira. She's been giving us some dope words, chapter and, oh man, just some dope words for us to talk about and deal with. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, come on, big her up tonight for just giving these dope words, putting together all of the flyers and everything that you see promoting Ways Word of the Day and other spaces. Jessica Simmons is going hard in the paint with your bad self. We big ups to you tonight. Come on, everybody show Jessica some love tonight. She is, helping us to get over the hump. And she's showing her love by hitting that stars button. We appreciate you tonight. Come on, everybody, show her some love tonight. I was going to show a video, but, I made a video for those in our text group, but I didn't want to show that video tonight because, in the text group is cool, but, this is going out everywhere. So, I didn't want to offend nobody by, showing a picture or whatever and all of that kind of stuff. So if y'all give me permission, maybe tomorrow I'll drop that video that I just dropped tonight in the text group, live streaming together some pictures from the various folk who are in that text group. So y'all let me know if that's all okay with you for me to do that, in this private space. I don't want to take it for granted to think that y'all cool. You might be like, I ain't really like that picture, RD, and all of that kind of stuff. So let me know, if we can drop that. But in the meantime, y'all need to get y'all some of this, Ways Word of the Day swag. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Are you waking up or put down? Somebody say hello, feel is calm. You know how we do it in this space. We try to get our healing. Hey, it's Ways Word of the Day. 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 Man, it seemed like a while since I heard that song. Ways Word of the Day. Ways Word of the Day. Ways Word of the Day. Can y'all tell, man, that I'm feeling really good on this hump day? Yeah, I said I'm feeling really good on this hump day because I'm talking about a word that I think is a word that we all need to hear. Yeah, sometimes you just have to reset. Yeah, sometimes you just have to reset. I heard somebody say something today that kind of sparked something in me, but I was watching something. I really spend a lot of time researching, thinking through things, hearing other people's thoughts and around certain things. But I was listening to something today. I love to read. I really believe you can learn from others. This is why I love books. But he said something like this. He said, take 5 seconds. He said, in 5 seconds, if you have a bad situation, something going on that just doesn't sit right with your spirit or whatever, and he says, take 5 seconds. He says, in those 5 seconds, you have the right to complain, to be, to say whatever it is that you need to say, get it all out, but take it within those 5 seconds. And then he said, after that, after those 5 seconds are over, move on. Because he said at that point, there is nothing that you can do about that thing that was in your past as it relates to that thing that frustrated you. So the best thing that you could do is move on. Now, his idea was 5 seconds. Oftentimes I say 24 to 48 hours because I know I'm dealing with human beings. You know what I mean? So my thing would be like, take 28 to 48 hours to reset. In other words, if there is some energy that tries to come into my life, some energy that tries to come into my space that doesn't sit well with me, if there is something that happens to me where I feel like people may have been disrespectful, whatever it is, whatever that energy is that is just not right for me and for my spirit, oftentimes I try to take 24 to 48 hours to process. Why? Because one, I've learned down through the years that if you're not careful, your emotions can get the best of you. That's just true. Some of my greatest victories have come out of the fact that I was able to handle my emotions while others were not able to do that. So I gave that to y'all for free. Some of my greatest battles that I had to face or come up against as it relates, it was because I was able to handle my emotions while others were not able to handle theirs, right? Because I took the time to process and think through, is this really them? Or does this have something to do with me, right? So oftentimes when we get into a space of offense, for whatever reason, for whatever situation or circumstance, oftentimes I say take 48 hours to reset, to process, to think through those things. Even if you're talking about making some type of large purchase or something that you need to do, never, you go to the car lot and you see the car and you're like, man, I want it. Here's the reality. Never sign on the first day, because oftentimes it's, Jessica, thank you so much, girl. You doing it. Come on, big up Jessica. Big up Jessica tonight. We appreciate that. Oftentimes, it's kind of in your emotions. I remember I went to a car dealer. This has been a long time ago. And so kind of saw a car, whatever. I'm sitting there. I'm just trying to figure out the numbers. And so I say to the guy, let me think about it. And he comes back to me, he says, what do you think we've been doing, today, just wasting our energy, doing something, because he's trying to get me to sign today. Now, while I love the car and all of those particular things, I'm not signing on the first day. That's just not happening, because I want to go back and kind of, is this just me having warm and fuzzy feelings about this car that I can't really process what he's trying to sell me and what the numbers really look like? Are you understanding what I'm saying? And so oftentimes, even when we think about as we move along in life and circumstances come upon us, sometimes we need to reset, and not just through the negative. See, oftentimes when we think about reset, we think about something negative has happened to us, or something has come up and we need to reset, and we need to think about, the way that we're moving, so forth and so on. But that's also true when it seems like life is going along smoothly. Sometimes you just need to take moments, stop, pause, reset, reevaluate, and say, okay, am I continuing on the path or in the purpose that God would have for my life? Or have I veered? Have I gotten off course? Are you picking up what I'm putting down tonight? And so oftentimes I'll say, hey, if there's some energy that comes my way that I'm just not feeling, if an opportunity comes my way that I'm not clear about, I want to go and reset. I want to go and ask myself some fundamental questions. Is it them or is it me? Right? So if I'm in a fence by something, I always ask myself, is it them or is it me? Am I taking something the wrong way? Or was it really them? Now, I ain't even gonna lie. If it's really them, then I'm going to say something. But Lady Shakira will tell you, very rarely do I say anything in the moment. Very rarely do I feel like I have to attack or come back. And I'll be honest, in those moments when I've kind of done that, that's when I've gotten in the most trouble because I was operating out of emotion. But for the most part, I never operate out of emotion. And some folk have done some dirty things, to me in church, in ministry. You understand what I'm saying? Done some dirty things, you know. But I just never kind of, always try to ask myself, is it them or is it me? And then once I determine, man, you know what, you tripping, though that may be you. You may be feeling a certain way, dealing with a certain thing. Then I can move accordingly, or I'll say, nope, that's them. And then I'll go and kind of deal with it, address it, if you will. And so there's always these moments in our life when we have to reset, when we have to reevaluate even our position, even how we are going. I would even argue that I'm in a season like that right now where, well, actually over the last couple of years, and you all have walked kind of through that with me, where I was resetting, reevaluating. I was thinking about, okay, what does these next few years look like in ministry? And then I had to come to the conclusion that the way that I was going, even though there was success and everything like that, that this was a season or a moment when I needed to pivot, that I needed to move beyond traditional thinking around certain things and really move into a space where I felt like God was leading me in this moment. And so I had to reset. I had to pivot. I had to think about the consequences of making such a shift. I had to think about what it would mean to me in terms of how I operate, right? So I had to retool. Right? Because listen, I love in-person church, to a certain extent. I love the preaching moment. I'll say it like that. I ain't even gonna lie. I love the preaching moment, in terms of in-person church. There were some things about in-person church that I never liked, but I love the preaching moment. And there is a style of preaching that most of us were accustomed to. But as I reset, as I pivoted into this space, I had to understand that some of that would not translate. And so I had to go through this whole notion of how do I yet communicate effectively while understanding that I got to pick up some new tools. Simple as that. How do I operate even as it relates to how we function and how I function as it relates to being a leader, as it relates to a church and so forth and so on. And so resetting is pivotal as it relates to our life, but it's not always a negative connotation. Listen, to use myself as an example because it's easier, I'm going along kind of okay, right? But I had to reset, make some adjustments, not because things were so bad, but because this is where I felt like God was leading me, right? So it put me in an uncomfortable situation in terms of trying to navigate how to move into this new sphere. But I've said that to you before. Anytime God shifts you or push you into a different space, there's always these uncomfortable feelings. But you have to decide in that moment of your crisis of faith, as I talked about a few days ago, will you break down or will you break through? Will you push through, right? And so resetting is not always a negative thing. Sometimes, well, oftentimes what happens in resetting, it actually catapults you higher, right? Think about any type of ball, basketball, whatever. You take a ball and you slam it down, right? It causes the ball to go higher. So sometimes in life, as we reset, as we adjust, because life is really about ebbs and flows, ups and downs. But oftentimes, what you'll discover is that in that ebb and flow, that on that moment of rediscovery, resetting, it elevates you to go higher than your last position. So you may have been here in life trying to figure out where you were, and then you kind of felt like you kind of took a dip. That's it. Reset, refocus, relaunch. And then thank you, Rakia. Then it causes you to expand higher than your last plateau. The Bible says something like this, that your latter days will be greater than your former days. In other words, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for them who believe him. See, oftentimes that dip comes to launch us even higher. It's kind of like the stock market. You put your money in the stock market, if you're clever at what you do, it's really find a good business, hold. Don't look, I'm not giving, financial advice. I don't want anybody to take care. I'm giving an example. But what happens is ebb and flow, And oftentimes what you'll discover sometimes with your stock purchase, you'll look at it and seem like it dipped, but then 6 months later, that dip, boom, it causes it to explode and go even higher. That's what happens when we reset. Oftentimes, our reset does not come to take us down lower, but it puts us in a position to expand higher. Right? How does one dunk a basketball? One first has to do what? Decompress to explode up. Right? Nobody who has good jumping aptitude or whatever, the legs, boom, go down to release up. That's what resetting does for you and I. When I reset, it puts me in a position to get clarity about where I am. I wish I had somebody tonight who would get in your position. Yeah, it puts me in a position to see where I am, what I'm doing, and what I can do better that would cause me to strike higher than I was before. We used to say it like this, and as it relates to the preacher moment, we would say something like this: start low, move higher, strike fire. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all around a mechanism of how you use your voice. If you start off in any type of speaking engagement and you're hollering, by the time you kind of want to get to a high moment, you have no voice. So oftentimes what happens What if I'm giving a speaking engagement? I'm talking about something. Oftentimes I go lower to be able to go higher. You picking up what I'm putting down. Oftentimes, if I want to hit that, I've got to bring it down to take it up. You ever been in a space where somebody is talking or preaching or trying to do whatever, and they're so high, right? They so high, by the end they have nothing left because they didn't understand resetting. You have to reset your voice. You start off, you bring it down, then you go up. Listen to some of the greatest preachers. That's what they do. They start low, bring higher, strike fire. And they're never uncomfortable. This is how they can speak. Such is life. Such is life. There are moments as I'm positioning myself for the next move, I've got to reset, see where I am, see what's going on with me, figure out what's the next move. And then the next move causes me to go higher. Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down? Let me give you an example. So I had a vision for, we were going to do this. I looked around. Some were questioning, how you going to do that? Where you going to get the funds from and everything like that. I come in on let me just be transparent as I can possibly be. So I come in, packed church, for probably the first year, church packed. But I'm understanding in that moment that the first year of me taking over, most of that came from nosiness. Okay, I want you to understand something. Nosiness. People just nosy. They just want to see what's going on. They have no intention of staying. They have no intention of being connected. They have no intention of being committed. They just hear about a new thing and they show up. Think about it, opening night of a club, that's what happens. Everybody show up. They're not really have any intention of necessarily staying or coming back over and over again. They just nosy. They want to see what's going on. I would argue that was even the failure of Krispy Kreme here in Connecticut. Over there in Newington, some of y'all don't know where it is, but Krispy Kreme opened up a Krispy Kreme shop here in Connecticut many years ago, whatever. Everybody was excited about it. You go over there, the lines were up the street, round the corner. 6 months later, they were gone. Because the initial thing was about nosiness, about, I just want to, this place had never been there before. I just want to see something about that donut or whatever. 6 months later, it was shut down. Business was gone. And on initially looking at it, you're like, oh man, they about to blow up. This is about to be crazy. But when you understand the nature of business, when you understand the nature of people, oftentimes what happens at the beginning, folk are just showing up because they just kind of want to see what's happening. But the real work is trying to get longevity and commitment, right? And in order to get that, you go through a series of resets. Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down? So sometimes so what I say all the time, you should never get excited if you're launching something now. You should never get excited about who shows up on day one. You should be excited about who's left at the end of 6 months. Because those are the folk who are going to rock with you the rest of the way. But oftentimes, what do? We get excited over what happens on day one. And we never reset because we assume these ones who show up at the opening are going to come back and come back and come back and come back, but there's no guarantee that they will. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? And that's what it is in life. That's what it is in life. You have an idea, you launch your idea out, you have a successful opening, but to continue your business of longevity, you have to always reset, rethink, reevaluate. Think about what is the next step? What am I doing next? Don't get so locked into what may have worked on opening day that you cannot open your mind to seeing something different. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? Anybody know anything about that? You have based your whole life on what mama said, kind of like from the water boy, you know what I mean? But mama said, but mama said, and you get someplace else where mama's logic don't fit into the narrative, but you're so stubborn that you won't reset, understanding that won't work in this environment. Anybody pick? Am I too deep on a hump night? Are you understand what I'm saying? And that's what happens sometimes. It's kind of like the water boy. He's in a totally different environment, but he's still quoting what mama said. And everything that mama was saying wasn't really right. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what we do in life. Instead of taking those moments to reset, we're still holding on to patterns that are no longer effective, that are no longer useful for us, that are no longer advantageous for our development or our growth, and we're afraid to learn something new. Resetting affords us the opportunity to learn something new. So let me give it to you just like this. If you have not reset in this season, if you're still trying to go along with the same patterns and structures that you've always gone along with, can I suggest to you that you're trying to put a circle in a square peg and it won't fit? It won't fit. And I'll leave you with this last little antidote that will speak to that. Maybe 20 years ago, the way that we were entertained at home, if we wanted to watch a movie, we would go out of our house. We would go down the street to our local Blockbuster. You go on the Blockbuster, man, they got movies, all types of movies, all types of DVDs. They even throw in the popcorn. You want some popcorn, you can take home, you can pop it up and everything like that. You'll stand in your little line after you done walked around, found your movie. You even have your little discount card because you're part of the Blockbuster family and all of this kind of stuff. And it was cool, man. I go get my little movie. I go home, sit down, pop it in the VHS. You know what I mean? How many folks still got one of them? Video, type thing. You know what I mean? Or the DVD player. You thought you was somebody with the DVD player and all of that stuff, right? They blowing up. They blowing up. Netflix comes along, and the executives at Blockbuster had the same. They had the same tech. They had the technology that Netflix is using. But Blockbuster didn't want to reset. They didn't want to make the pivot because in their mind, they said, who would be willing to order a movie from their home? Ain't nobody going to be willing to order no movie from their home. So instead of using the technology that they had, because they didn't want to reset, because they didn't want to pivot. They were just operating in the same construct because they said nobody would ever want to do it the way that Netflix is doing it. Let me ask you a question. Anybody walked out of their house lately, went down to their corner local Blockbuster and stood in line and rented them a video? And I'm saying that to say this. The same thing is holding true as it relates to how we're operating in this season. There are still folks who are saying today, nobody wants to go to church virtual. But mark my words, most of the gathering as it relates to ministry going forward, ministry work is going to be done in this platform. It's going to be done in this space. Just like nobody would want to do whatever other type of industry, only to discover, yeah, maybe they will. Nobody will send an email instead of going to their local post office and mail out a letter. Who wants to do that? Nobody will pay online for a product. Blockbuster, Amazon. Anybody heard of Amazon lately? Nobody would want to order some books, online through a Kindle, and now that's a billion-dollar industry. Nobody would ever want to have somebody deliver their food to their house or their groceries. You heard of Instacart and DoorDash? Nobody would want to have somebody come to their house, pick them up in their car outside of a taxi and get them to where they need to be. You ever heard of Uber? Are you understanding what I'm saying? And whatever it is that you are contemplating, whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever it is that you are believing God to do, this is a good season to reset, refocus, rethink. Because that idea, that dream that you have in your mind, it may just require you to reset, refocus, and relaunch. Because that little dip is not a bad thing. That gives you the energy to explode up, to excel higher, and to accomplish all of your dreams. To walk in the vision, the purpose, and the path that God would have for your life. So yeah, reset, get in position so that you can see where you are, so that you can see where you want to be, and so that you can relaunch and go higher than you've ever gone before. Man, I'm done tonight. I hope that this word has blessed you on tonight. This word has added value to your life. Make sure that you text, tag, and tell somebody. That's what we need you to do to help us to move and to do what we do in this space every night. I said, make sure you text, tag, and tell somebody. Yeah, that's easy. That don't cost you nothing. We appreciate you tonight. Jessica, come on, let's big her up one more time. Yeah, for tonight, for hitting that stars button. You still got time. You can do it too. Hit that stars button on tonight. And then finally, there are various ways if you want to partner with us. I'm not even going to put any of them up on the screen. Y'all know what it is. You can Cash App, you can, whatever, to help us to go forward and do what it is that we are doing in this space. Judy, I hear you. If it wasn't for virtual church, I probably wouldn't make it to the building on time. I'm kind of feeling it. Well, yeah. I ain't even going to lie to it. Yeah, that was me. That was me. I ain't going to lie. All right, we're going to be here at 8:30. Yeah, I'll roll up in the 8:45. That was my burden, my cross to bear. I struggle with that. So you ain't alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. But now, shoot. Boy throwing his hat. You understand what I'm saying? Come on into the studio and do my thing. That's a good thing. Let's go out this way. Let me stop. Let's go out this way. Hey, love y'all so much. Love y'all so much. Appreciate you all for coming into the space. Hey, this is the artist 2021, man, that I just love in 2021. And I think y'all can tell because I think I played his music, a couple times. We don't own the rights, but hey, it is what it is. They just rock it out. So I like it. Here we go.
For you and me, for you and me, for you and me, for you and me. Wake up all your doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and catch all the hell, but they don't have so very long before the judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all you builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our mind. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. Everybody say, well, I won't get no better if we just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. For you
hey,
and
I'm
me.
out of here. This is Wade's Word of the Day. I'm
You
your
and
host,
me.
man.
For you and me.
Make sure that you holler at somebody, tell them to come on, get connected. Come on into the space and hang out with your boy. Hang out with us. Yeah, give us 1 hour of your life to change your life with a fresh word. We love you so much.
The world won't get no better.
We got to change our
We
world.
gotta change it, yeah.
Hey!
Just you and me. Everybody say the world won't get no better.
Hey!
The hood won't get no better.
I am out of here. I'll talk to y'all real